Morning. Morning live viewers, replay viewers. Hey Tanya, hey Mom. Hey Roseanne. Let me get this turned around before it freezes. That's Ginger Rose up there on the perch. Hey Sarah. I put her up there on that perch this morning to get her out of the house. And here's what I got from my efforts. I don't know if you can see it. Good morning, Nina. Sup, dog? What y'all know? What y'all know, bro? Kitty. She is so pretty and so sweet and so scared of everything. Good morning, Jana. So I make her come outside at least part of the day. I heard that it's snowing. I miss snow. Hey, Catherine. Yeah, it's snowing in Denver. I'm surprised that you made it back to Denver with all that snow. I thought they might have closed the airport down and then you would have been stuck in Mexico. Oh, what a tragedy. A 4-letter word. It's storming in Missouri. It's really cold here. It's cold and gray and it's supposed to rain the rest of the week. So, we'll see. I do hope that we get some snow at some point. Hi, Linda. Here in LJ. Oh, just cancel flights. Okay. Good morning. Snow, and you don't have to leave home. That's right, because you're living the high life of the retired woman. So, yeah, so lots of, so here's a question. A question I'm struggling with. I have a really strong belief that we should help refugees if we can. That's my opinion. I know it's not everybody's opinion. Obviously, if you follow me on Facebook at all, I've had a couple of, aggravated posts. One last night and one this morning. Okay. So I've been rather somewhat shocked, to find out that some people that I used to work with, not necessarily close friends, are supportive of the governors who are saying no to refugees, which, by the way, they can't say no. It's all just blowhard. Let's stir up controversy. You actually cannot do that unless you're willing to secede and start a civil war. So, yes, it's fear-mongering. It's political blowharding. But I've been rather disturbed about a few people who are posting on their pages that I've known for years, that they're like, Yahoo, our governor's like, fuck you, refugees. And I was like, what? I don't know. That's a good question to ask. Hi, Cynthia. So, and hello to people that I missed. I saw some names coming in that I didn't recognize. If you're a first timer here, we will be talking about A Course in Miracles. I promise. I just had a little question I wanted to pose to the group. Like, what do you do with that? Hello, ass hats. Yes. Yeah, there's no blue-eyed people allowed in his state. Hey, Carla. Oh, I've seen you before. I know I've seen you in Sarascopes. Yeah, so, I could go on for hours about the complexities of how we've gotten to this point, but I'm not going to because I'm not a poli-sci major, and I probably would misquote myself. I mean, I have my own theories and stuff about where this stems from, but, whatever. I'm not going to go there. But my question is, we have 24 states, Cynthia, that are saying that they're going to refuse to accept Syrian refugees, even though we already accept refugees in the states, and we have for years, and they go through a really long process. I might have an afternoon ranty scope. We'll see how I need. And so, Cynthia, we have 24 states doing a lot of political grandstanding and saying that they're not going to accept them. Well, they legally can't do that because our president has said we will accept them. And we have been accepting them. And we're going to continue accepting them. So, but my question is I have several people on Facebook that I've known forever who are supportive of the states who are saying no. That shocks me quite a bit. Yeah, I did. It should still be up there. Right, not everyone is bad. I know, right? So, what do I do with that? Because here's my knee-jerk reaction is to unfriend them. Or at a minimum, put them on acquaintance status so I never see their posts again. Now, I have one friend who always has the opposite opinion of me, from me, but I just love her so much that I couldn't unfriend her anyway, but I might mute her post. Right? I feel like just like running through my Facebook page and just unfriending everyone. But I'd like to be in a calmer place before I do that. So that's an example of what I'm always saying, that you can do things. It depends on where you're coming from when you take an action. People are so scared. Yeah, they're convenient targets for fear. Hide or unfriend people. Yeah, I don't want to see that. We ain't got time for that business. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah, Scorpio, I know. See that, Roseanne, that's my tendency, is just to be like, chop, hatchet. Opposite opinions help us define our own opinions. That's true, too. I feel like I don't have time for that bullshit, and I want to see it on my Facebook page. Facebook is like a place I go for entertainment and cat videos and funny memes, and even though memes are getting ridiculous, they're still funny. Yeah, I do too. Roseanne, I'm there with you. Some give opinions without seeing or understanding the whole picture as well. Yeah, yes. Can we please take a look at the history and stuff? You want to help, but you're worried too. Yep, we're close to a military base. Yeah. People post crazy stuff on Facebook all the time. Our memes are the shiznit, baby. That's right, bitches. We make some hella memes. Okay, I'll get to the point, but that's an example of, if I go unfriending people, yeah, that's probably what I'll do, Nina, is I'll just go hide people's posts. I feel like unfriending is like saved for murderers and maybe rapists. Yeah. I don't really want to unfriend people because that's like it feels pretty harsh just because they have a different opinion than me. But I will probably yeah, I do. I do know some murderers. Yes, I do. Hi. Oh, I bet you did. I hope your copycat's not in my followers list. I'd appreciate it if they are in my followers list. I'd sure like to know. Hiding it helps, but they don't have to know. Yeah. She's gone. So, somebody stole a copy off Sarah's website. Oh, darn it. Yes, I know you would. Catherine. Because we're moms, and we can't not help. Even if it means giving up things, even if it means, yeah. I think Nina sums it up. People are scared, and Syrians are a great target right now. That's pretty much all that's about. Wow, Jan's getting all violent. She's like, let's just skip the unfriending and go straight for the shank. Oh, you guys. Oh my God, it's so funny. A lot of emotions in the air today. Lots of emotions in the air today. So we talked yesterday about the war within and how it creates the war without. When I went to look up the Course in Miracles section today from the Holy Shift book, in looking for it, I got my Roman numerals mixed up. It was supposed to be section 6, but I flipped it and looked in section 4. Your favorite doctor in Texas is from there. And his family, so hard on him. Yes. God. Oh, so hard to be brown in this country. Any shade of brown or black in this country. Oh, it's so hard. I can't even imagine how hard. I can't even imagine. So, I flipped my Roman numerals. I went to a different section of A Course in Miracles, but I liked so much what I saw that I decided to stay there. So we're not following the Robert Holden Holy Shift book. I don't think any of you guys are following along in that book anyway. Well, hello, Ladybug. Look, we have a friend. We have a little, oh, can you see her? Oh, it just looks like a black smudge, doesn't it? It's a little ladybug. It's a little ladybug. You gotta move or you're gonna get squashed in the book, honey. Move. Move over. Thank you. Okay. So, we ended up in chapter 11, God or the Ego, in A Course in Miracles, chapter 11 in the text section. Chapter 11, section 4. I know, right? They're on the porch. Nice. Manimala. Michelle, we haven't really gotten into the stuff I was just rambling earlier. So we're just now getting to the actual reading. I was just blowing off a little bit of steam earlier. Oh, your mom called. Well, that's important. I'll be calling my mom when I get off of here, since she's been gone for a week. So take note of that, Mom. Okay, the text, chapter 11, God or the Ego, section 4, the inheritance of God's Son, verse 4. Okay, verse 4 starts with, only you can deprive yourself of anything. Only you can deprive yourself of anything. Do not oppose this realization, for it is truly the beginning of the dawn of light. Remember also that denial of this simple fact takes many forms, and these you must learn to recognize and to oppose steadfastly without exception. So we have lots of reasons why we think we're being deprived by someone else, whether that's Syrians or politicians or our spouses or whatever, our bosses or whatever. But it says don't oppose this realization. It's the beginning of the dawn of light. It's the beginning of your awakening. Remember also that denying this simple fact takes many forms. We look for reasons to rationalize our sense of deprivation in many different ways, and we attach it to many different people, places, and things. But you must learn to recognize this tendency and to oppose it without exception. This is a crucial step in the reawakening process. The beginning phases of this reversal are often quite painful. Okay, so they're saying the beginning phases of waking up are often quite painful because as we withdraw blame from outside of us, there's a strong tendency to harbor it within. So we stop the blame out there and we turn it and we start blaming ourselves for everything too. So we haven't changed it. We haven't changed our blaming. We've just changed our target. We've stopped targeting out there and we've started targeting in here. So we're still doing the same fucked up thing. We're just doing it in a different direction. It's a crucial step in the reawakening to recognize when you're doing that and to stop it. The wind is blowing. If the wind makes the weird wind sound on the phone, let me know and I'll go inside. The beginning phases are often quite painful, for as blame is withdrawn from without, there is a strong tendency to harbor it within. It is difficult at first to realize that this is exactly the same thing. Feeling afraid of my old way of doing that now that I'm changing my relationship. Well, you're in process. When you're in process of change, sometimes awareness is the best you can do. Sometimes you can be aware of what you're doing and not yet be at the place where you can change it or stop doing it. Awareness is the first step. Awareness is key. If you have awareness, you're 100 million miles ahead of most people who don't even have that. It's difficult at first to realize that this is exactly the same thing, for there's no distinction between within and without. If your brothers are part of you and you blame them for your deprivation, you are blaming them for yourself. Yes, your BFF, yeah. If your brothers are part of you and you blame them for your deprivation or your problems or your whatever, You're blaming yourself, and you cannot blame yourself without still blaming them. That is why blame must be undone. It just has to be undone completely. Lay it to yourself, and you cannot know yourself, for only the ego blames it all. Oh shit. Self-blame is therefore ego identification, as much an ego defense as blaming others. And here they italicized, blame must be undone. Yeah. So this sentence is italicized. You cannot enter God's presence if you attack His Son. You cannot be connected to Source if you're attacking. If you're indulging, and I'll say indulging because it is an indulgence, even though I'm just as guilty of doing it. Course in Miracles, the text, it's online. You don't have to go buy it. Course in Miracles, text, chapter 11. Hi, Rhonda. Oh, Sarah. Sarah, you can't blame yourself for your copycat. Flattery is copying is the sincerest form of flattery. You should be proud. Right. Oh, good. Yeah. Yes. You're welcome. Sarah said she blamed herself for her copycat, but she doesn't now. She just went through a moment. And then she was like, shit, Sarah. You're so hot. Everyone's stealing your shit. It's flattery. That's right. You should be looking in the mirror and going, damn, Sarah. Yeah. Yes, compassion. You handled it so well. Your scope was beautiful. That's how I handle my copycat stealers. You're so hot. That's what you should be saying to yourself, Sarah. Compassion is key. When someone swipes my artwork, I generally don't know, but somebody will usually come and tell me. They'll see it somewhere else and they'll let me know. And I go tell them, that's not yours. Take it down. Or, I always offer this. If you want to use my artwork, that's fine. Give me credit and link back to my website and advertise for me. And then you can use it. That's fine. So far, they haven't taken me up on that. They just take it down. But I don't get upset about it. Zoolander quote. Oh, I've never seen that. I missed it. Okay. You can't be connected to Source and fully in state of love and be hating on somebody. You can't be connected to Source and fully connected to love and your own power if you're hating on yourself. You can't have both. It's one or the other. You're connected to love or you are not connected to love. Sarah, yeah, she's ridiculously good looking. Ridiculously. Those eyes. And all her kids got those eyes. Well, Catherine, maybe you and I should watch it and then we compare notes. I haven't seen it. You cannot enter God's presence if you attack His Son. If you try to connect with the Source, if you try to connect with love, but you are condemning yourself or others, you'll think that you can't find it. Then you'll think that it doesn't exist. Christ is at God's altar waiting to welcome you. But come wholly without condemnation, for otherwise you will believe that the door is barred and you cannot enter. The door is not barred, and it is impossible that you cannot enter the place where God exists. But if you're trying, yeah, it's pretty simple. You're either connected to love or you're not. If you're hating on yourself, you cannot be fully connected to love. If you're hating on your neighbor, you cannot fully be connected to love. If you are indulging attack thoughts toward yourself or others, you can't be connected to love. I think that's what happens when people say, I reach for a sense of connection to source and I never find it. Well, you don't. You can't find it until you're open to accepting that you're probably wrong. Really. You've got to be open to the understanding that the way you've been living your life and the way you've been thinking about things has probably been very incorrect. And unless you are able to handle the humility and humble yourself enough to say that, I've been screwing it up for 40-something years or 50-something years or whatever, but I'm willing to see, really? Oh, she's awesome. Brene Brown's awesome. These aren't new concepts. We're all saying it in different ways. You just can't feel it at a heart level, I guess. Oh, they're still idiots, but we can love them in their idiocy, is the thing. I can love the friends that disagree with me, and I can block their posts. Yes, me either. Me either. I don't trust people who say I love you if they can't love themselves. If they're a total asshole to themselves and other people, can they really love me? No. Human love at best is conditional, alternating with unconditional, back and forth. But, yeah. But I think that's what happens when people say, well, I reached out for God and I never felt anything. A certain state has to exist. Actions, not words. Yes. Yeah. Love yourself with the same love as Christ, for so does your Father love you. You can refuse to enter, but you cannot bar the door that love holds open. That door is open. Yes, we're at different levels of awakening. Yes. Yeah. So my knee-jerk reaction is to say, off with their head, unfriend. And then my calmer reaction is to say, I love you, friend, and I don't want to see your posts. So I'm not going to unfriend you, but I'm going to block your posts. And I wish you well with your endeavors. That's the email everybody gets when somebody in the building has been fired. So-and-so doesn't work for the company anymore, and we wish them well in their future endeavors. And that's code speak for, that bitch done been fired. Yeah. I have had to block some family members as well. I really limit a lot of posts. There are some people who are still on my friends list, but I never see what they post. You can't close the door. Come unto me who hold it open for you, for while I live it cannot be shut, and I live forever. Yeah, everybody's doing their own thing. Okay, as much as I think I'm right, is as much as they think they're right. The dog whisperer says you cannot give a triggered dog love. He must be relaxed. Yep. You cannot achieve anything. It used to crack me up when I worked with adolescent boys, and girls, they have hot tempers, really hot tempers. And when they're triggered and they're going off on a counselor and the counselor's trying to reason with them logically, if you're outside of that interaction, you just have to laugh. Because you're like, really? You're arguing with the Tasmanian devil right now. You're trying to get an escalated teenager to respond to a logical conversation. Not going to happen. Yeah. People are conditional lovers. We love conditionally. Good morning, Linda. We're human. We can't love unconditionally all the time because we're human. We're prone to failure. You can refuse to enter, but you cannot bar the door. come unto me who hold it open for you, for while I live it cannot be shut, and I live forever. God is my life and yours, and nothing is denied by source to you. Nothing is denied by God to his children. Our monkey mind mucks it up. Yes, it does. Our monkey minds are great muckers. Christ waits for your acceptance of him as yourself and his wholeness as yours. So you can rephrase that in source or whatever word works for you. Love waits for your acceptance. That mother mucker, that's funny. Nothing is denied. Oh, that scared me. Hold on. Kitty drama. Hold on, let me get a cat. Wow, that scared me half to death. Come here, baby. Come here. Wow. Hoot, you're being a jerk. We have our own wars. Everyone check your shorts. Oh, that scared me half to death. We have our own war going on. We have a refugee who's not being accepted. Hey, knock it off. Stop it. I have one cat. Whew. The black one, Juniper Hoot, who's normally the most laid-back cat ever, will not leave the new cat alone. Whew. And they aren't touching each other. They're just making a lot of noise. They aren't scratching each other. I gotta catch my breath. Wowee. War at home. War in my head. War on the deck. There may be some truth to that. I'll have to think about that one. War in my head and war going on in the cat family. Oh, God. I haven't even said my name's Michelle Wolf, for anybody who doesn't know. We'll take a commercial break. Cut to commercial! The cats are killing each other! Cut to commercial! Kittens Wars, yes. You can find me at caddyshackdesigns.com. Tabs across the top tell you everything I do. Yeah, we have to change to commercial break to go change our pants. Jeez, you guys knock it off. Now everybody's growling at each other. Stop it. I'm seriously I'm just gonna toss you all out into the forest. All of Madre. Okay. Where were we? Here's the thing I'm left with. The thing I'm left with is, again, that it's really fend for yourselves. Run for your life. It's a cat war. It's a kittens wars. Every man for... I've got scratches on my neck, you guys. Picking up somebody this morning who was nervous. She didn't want to be picked up. She'd like to go inside. She is so pretty. She's lavender. Can you see how she has like a lavender cast to her fur? She has like a little lavender tone. I've never seen a cat with that. Anywho, peace be unto you who rest in God and in whom the whole sonship rests. Peace be unto you who can find your way to love. Isn't that cool? She just has a lavender cast to her. Yeah, she's sassy. She's been sassy. She is spending more time under the bed than I would like, but she is giving it back. He's just looking at her. She's freaking out. Yeah, she's a really cool color. The ego. My thoughts on the ego is that, yeah, we need it, and we don't. That's a horrible answer. Here's a worse horrible answer. It depends. So Eckhart Tolle says about the ego, we do need it. We page 92 in the text. I don't believe in rejecting any of the parts of ourselves. Here's what doesn't exist. Are you on page 92? A compensation book? I'm not tracking, Michelle. Oh, the Law of Divine Compensation. Okay. Which is Course in Miracles based. I'll look it up when we get off of here. But, so I'll give you Eckhart Tolle's perception on it because I agree with it. We are human beings. We live in a physical world. We have to navigate this physical world. We have to learn how to drive. We have to balance our checkbooks. We have to learn a language. We have to learn discernment between safe people and not safe people situations. We have to combine it all. In my mind, this is actually my opinion, with some Eckhart thrown in. Sometimes we don't appreciate sunshine without rain. Sometimes we don't understand compassion without experiencing pain first. The least compassionate people that I know are the ones who have not experienced pain. There's duality. To me, the ideal state is that I use my mind when I need it. When I need it is to remember an appointment, to write things down on a calendar, to believe the idea of separation and continually find our way home. I believe that we came here to experience, to fall asleep, and to experience the waking up. We can educate our ego to function in harmony with our soul's goals. Yes. It's similar to the teenage boys I used to work with who were highly successful drug dealers. Highly successful. Wealthy at 14, 13, 12. Highly successful skills. Our job was to teach them to use those same skills in socially acceptable ways, and that they had already experienced success. They knew what success felt like. They just needed to use their powers for pro-social good. They had the skills. They needed to be directed in a different way. And I feel that way about our ego. Our ego has skills. We have to choose where we direct it. And we're in the driver's seat, and too often we don't remember, and we don't take that responsibility seriously that we're in the driver's seat. If you wrote it down all day, how many times a day do you let yourself... We have mad skills, yo. We be slinging dope, we be successful. We could be slinging knowledge and be successful. Yes, skills. How many times a day do you let yourself get away with saying something shitty to yourself or about someone else? And when I say you let yourself get away with it, I'm not saying that you hammer down on yourself when you catch yourself saying something shitty. I'm saying that how many times a day do you fall asleep and forget that although that's a natural function of an unskilled ego, it's not a function that has been effective for you in your life, and it's a function that you want to train yourself out of. My ego can be a cruel bitch sometimes. Yes. Our cruelty to others is a minuscule amount compared to our cruelty toward ourselves. We hurt ourselves far more than we ever hurt anybody else. That's what I was saying on Facebook this morning too. We kill ourselves as a nation far more than any terrorist has ever or will ever kill us. We kill ourselves with guns every single day in this country. Our own people, with our own guns. We are shooting the hell out of ourselves. So, it is our own self-hatred masquerading as self-love, chapter 9, page 87. We could add this book after the end of the Tao and the Byron Katie. Or we could switch to that. It is Course in Miracles based. Your ego has a purpose. It has useful skills. Heidi, people have been having trouble for several days with Periscope signal. I'm not freezing up here. Well, I guess what makes me nervous is when we make ego the bad guy, are we not then still doing the same blame game? Oh, I can't have what I want because of my stupid ass ego. I can't be successful in life because of my ego jerk face. Right. So I get nervous when we start to make anybody or anything the bad guy, when we start to place blame at the feet of anything. Yeah, it helps us define our human experience. It's fun. Puzzles are fun. Studying history is fun. I would consider that a mind occupation. Yeah, it's not my fault. It's just my shitty ego. If I didn't have this ego, everything would be fine. It's further separation than that. I don't agree with it. So, here's what Eckhart Tolle says. You use your mind when it's time to use your mind. You use your mind when you need directions to get from Ellijay, Georgia to Atlanta. You use your mind when you need to find a flight. You use your mind to balance your checkbook. You use your mind to do financial planning or to make a will. To grocery shop. And then when you don't need to do those things, yeah, always. When you don't need to do those things, you are back in just accepting reality moment by moment as it is. Moment by moment as it is. Martha Beck once used the example of a dog that's been abused. Yeah, sometimes we have to use analytics. Everything has the ability to be useful or not useful, effective or ineffective. You make your ego work for you instead of you being run around by your ego. Being a parent. Yes. God, again with this nonsense. Talk amongst yourself for a second. Stop it. Knock it off. Seriously. Come on. Come on. Oh. Goodness sakes. Probably the coming storm has them a little cranked up too. I wanted to say, yep, you have to take, yeah, you can't sit and make malas when kids need dinner. Oh, I love them too. They're such jerks. Sometimes your meditation time is interrupted by your toddler's need for applesauce, and you have to deal with that. But you can keep your meditation going while you're getting the applesauce. if you let it. You can stay in a meditative state while cooking fish sticks. It's not easy. You need your ego. Let's say it this way. You need your ego to compare prices. But when you cross over into comparing people, then you have your problem. That's I put the scared cat away. She's the source of the she's the Syrian refugee right now. She's everybody else's target. There's a storm coming. Let's beat up Ginger. Yeah. So the one behind me is Tonka. Yeah, she's better. This is the second time we've done this. It's going better than it did before. I don't know why they're all cranky today. Probably the weather. So use your ego to compare prices. Don't use your ego to compare people. Don't use your ego to compare your worth to someone else's worth. Your need to someone else's need. Use your ego to find the best price for a flight from Atlanta to Puerto Rico. And I have looked, because Linda lives in a really pretty place. Does that make sense? Like, our egos are our GPS for this world, this tangible world. And we can work in collaboration with our ego. I think about teenagers a lot because they're such a strong metaphor for everything. Yeah. You do a lot better if you give a teenager choices and work with them instead of trying to order them around or separate them from yourself. You're welcome. Oh, I missed what Sarah said. So, that's that, I guess. Helps us be seen and heard by those who speak the language of ego. Yeah, it's a navigator. Use it to your advantage. Work with it. But don't allow it to separate you from love. Work with it. You have to be able to talk to the cashier. You have to go be able to buy a car from some slack-jawed yokel whose language is very different than yours. You have to be able to navigate. You got to be able to navigate the reality, the tangible world. I like that. Yeah, interface with other people who aren't there yet. But the compassionate part of yourself, the soul part of yourself, recognizes that that's all okay. That the slack-jawed yokel and the saint can exist in the same room and it can all be fine. That's all I got. That's all I've got, I think. I think I'm done. I'm done for today. I've always got something to talk about. Oh, okay. Sometimes ego speaks from lack of logic and understanding of the past. Yeah. Sometimes ego speaks from our base emotions. Our very base, dark emotions. It all has its place, right? It's the razor's edge. If you think about that, it's the razor's edge. We want to be in the middle, able to comprehend and conceptualize and work with both sides while we stand on the edge, able to access it all. That's your greatest point of power, when you can access and understand the whole thing, where you can hold the duality in your mind without your mind going into a spasm. It's both. Love and hate. It's both. Acceptance, non-acceptance. It's alchemy. Yeah, good one. That's a good word. Okay. Here's the last thing I'll give you. Your resurrection is your awakening. Resurrection means waking up. My brother slept during the so-called agony in the garden But I could not be angry with them because I knew I could not be abandoned. This is, in theory, coming from Christ. When his brothers slept during the Garden of Gethsemane, he wasn't angry with them because he knew that he could not truly be abandoned, ever. I am sorry when my brothers do not share my decision to hear only one voice, because it weakens them as teachers and as learners. Yet I know they cannot really betray themselves or me, and that it is still on them that I must build my church. There is no choice in this, because only you can be the foundation. You cannot ever truly be abandoned. You cannot ever truly be alone. You can lose your awareness of love, but love never loses its awareness of you. Let's say that. You can lose your awareness, but it never loses its awareness of you. Never stops loving you. Never leaves you. Always is with you. In your very cells of your very bones, at the bottom of your brain, in the bottom of your heart. It's always there. So do your best today to stay awake. When you fall asleep, wake yourself up. When I fall asleep, I'll have cats growling at each other to wake me up. You know, I can put a spin on that. Every time a cat yells, I can check myself. Oh, am I awake right now? What was I just thinking about right now? Was I thinking about my soul's goals, or was I thinking about some bitchy thought or other? Okay? Try and stay there. Try and stay there. And you won't be able to stay there long, but you'll put yourself back there. That's the gift, right? We can keep going back. The middle way. Yep, we walk the middle way. Not too far to the left, not too far to the right. Not asleep. Yeah, cats or kids screaming can be your reminders. To ask yourself, oh, what was I just thinking about? Where was my mind just now? Always going back. That's the most important thing. Always going back to love. We lose our awareness of love. Love never loses its awareness of us. We always get to go home. We get to go home a zillion times a day. Without judgment. Home never shuts the door and says, well, you had a chance to come home, but you didn't, so now we're going to shut the door on you, and you just left out in the cold, and too bad. You didn't take your chance when you had it, yada, yada, yada. That's not true. The door to home is open 24/7. You can come and go, you can come and go, come and go, come and go as many times as you want. The door will always be open. That's comforting. That's comforting. So, all right, I'm going to go, gotta go buy some cat food. Cynthia, thank you. So glad. So glad. I always think about your work day. I don't miss working in that environment, and blessings on your head for doing the kind of work that you do. It's so comforting. You're welcome. Have a wonderful day, whatever the weather is where you are. I gotta go buy cat food. Maybe they're hungry. They're not hungry. They have tons of food. They just don't have the food they want. You too. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.